Shalom, brothers and sisters. I've had a couple of inquiries about the beard of a man. And I've written a book on this subject. I wrote it early on in my life. In the early 2000s, I studied the subject of the beard from a biblical and then a historical standpoint, and came to some conclusions. I came to the conclusion, obviously, as you can see, that a man should not shave his face. And this was primarily based on the commandment in Leviticus 19:27 to the common men, the men in general, in the nation of Israel. And then a couple of chapters over in Leviticus 21 verse 5 to the set-apart men, the priesthood of Levi. So the command in Leviticus 19:27 speaks of, you shall not mar the corners of your beard. The word mar having the meaning of to destroy, to rot, to decay. Corners probably better translated as borders or sides. It's used in that same chapter, Leviticus 19, to speak of the borders of the field that you leave for the poor and the stranger. And then, of course, the next part of that verse says, neither shalt thou round the corners of thy head. Once again, probably borders or sides would be better there, and round in reference to all the way around the head. This is why you see some Orthodox Jews wear the peyot there on the sides of their hair, where they do not trim the sides of their hair. So I came to the conclusion, based on my studies of those texts, that you should keep the hair of your head long enough to have locks to pull, and same thing with the beard. I don't believe that it's a sin to groom or to trim your beard, so long as you don't shave or mar, destroy the borders of your beard. There's a couple of other texts in the Bible. I think it's 2 Samuel chapter 10. It's one of my favorite stories to talk about when I discuss the beard with people, where David had some men that went to visit a neighboring community. And this community, the ruler in the community, thought that they were spies sent to do harm. And so he shaved off half of their beard. I'm not for sure if that meant like from here over and it was actually shaved like clean, or if he grabbed them like that and then chopped off the beard right there. It could be either one. I'm not completely sure about what happened there, but he shaved off half their beard and he cut their garments up where you could see their tail, their buttocks. And they were ashamed. And when they got back to David, to their own community, they were told, stay here until your beards be grown, and then you can go back out. That's one of my favorite texts about the beard. Psalms 133, where it talks about Aaron's beard that reached down to the skirt of his garment, the oil that ran down Aaron's beard. And then there's a messianic prophecy, probably messianic prophecy in the book of Isaiah, how that the people plucked the hair of his beard as a shameful thing. He hid not his face from shame and spitting, the text says. It could be a reference to Isaiah by himself, or it could be dual to Isaiah and to Yeshua, our Messiah. So the Bible has a lot to say about the beard of a man. If people ask me, what do you believe about the beard? I tell them I believe a man shouldn't shave his beard. I believe a man should have a beard, and it differentiates us from the female. I often tell people that if I was in charge of the signs on the bathroom doors, I'd put a clean-shaven face that was feminine with long flowing hair on the back, and then another face on the other door with shorter hair and a beard on the face. Because in the biblical times, if you had one with just a stick figure and then the other one with a stick figure with a dress, both men and women wore robes in Hebrew culture. So the apostles Paul and Peter might go into the door where it had the person in the robe. Some people say that the command in regards to the beard was only for mourning rites, like for the dead. And I deal with that in my book a little bit. At the end, I'll put the link in the description. But I think that's a faulty interpretation. Some people try to justify or okay tattoos as well, saying that you're just not supposed to tattoo your body for the dead. But the for the dead clause is not linked with a beard, nor is it linked with tattoos. It's only linked with cuttings in the flesh there in Leviticus 19. I think it's better to see that there's a list of commands in that particular section that have to do with how we are to treat our bodies in general. Certain hairstyles, what we should not do to our skin. How are we to treat our bodies? I think that's a better way to understand the commandment. Even with the cuttings in the flesh, I mean, would it be okay for me to cut my flesh? And then somebody says, what are you doing, Brother Matthew? And I say, well, I'm not doing it for the dead. I'm just cutting my flesh. I'm not doing it for the dead. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I think they're commands in general. If you want to read more about it, you can check the book out. But that's my thoughts on the beard of a man. So my brothers, don't shave your face. If you belong to Yahweh, if you are a child of the King, and if you want to abide by his Torah, his instructions, then you shall not destroy the borders of your beard. You should have a beard. My father-in-law likes to say that the Bible doesn't command us to have a beard, it just commands us not to shave. And the result and the outcome of that is the beard. So, praise Yahweh for that particular law and commandment. Hope you have a great day. Shalom.